In this short video, I'd just like to go into a little bit more detail around goals and objectives, and then I'll be asking you to develop some draft goals and objectives for your sales plan. You'll remember that once you've analysed the situation, done your situation analysis, been very honest about the state of the team and the business today, then the next thing that you want to do is to look into the future, for you to take that journey into the future ahead of anybody else. And that's where we employ goals and we employ objectives. Now, previously we've discussed why real planning involves setting ourselves goals and objectives before we start thinking about what to do, which is strategy and tactics. As a reminder, Stephen Covey points out in his excellent book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that we need to start with the end in mind, which is what we're going to do with goals and objectives. As a leader, you probably already have some sense of where it is you're heading, but planning in general and setting ourselves goals and objectives in particular is going to lend real focus for us and for the team. We separate out goals and objectives because they do two slightly different things. The goal statement is going to give us a sense of direction. It's going to be memorable, it's going to be inspiring. It should be short and what you could put on the t-shirt or what you could put on a plaque on the wall. It's very obvious from this t-shirt what this individual wants us to focus on in the future. Objectives, on the other hand, may not be so memorable. You will have to write them down, but they will give us an absolute clarity so we know exactly what it is that we're trying to achieve over some timescales. Many people find the concept of SMART objectives to be very useful in this respect, and by that we mean that objectives are going to be very specific, they're straight to the point. They're going to be measurable, so there is no subjectivity involved. In fact, somebody independent of us can determine whether or not we've met them. They're going to be achievable. Setting objectives which aren't achievable is just a complete waste of everybody's time. They should be relevant, and by that we mean relevant to the long-term goal. And finally, they will have some definite timescale for when they need to be achieved. By the way, in some management textbooks, they'll use the word realistic rather than relevant. However, certainly in a sales management situation, there is little difference in my mind between realistic and achievable. So let's look at an example. Suppose your vision is for the team to be much more professional, predictable, and with long-term growth based on new account acquisition, as well as growing existing customers. Your goal statement might be something like the most professional and predictable high growth team in the company. And this gives everyone that sense of direction, maybe a sense of purpose, and you can imagine t-shirts and posters with a memorable professional high growth message. But what does professional and predictable and high growth mean? How will we know if we've achieved them? And when to celebrate, or to know we need to do something different. This is why we need objectives. And in this case, our objectives might be something like achieve growth of at least 20% year on year every quarter, open 3 new accounts per quarter, measured as firm purchase order with a minimum value of something. Now you can read the rest of them. What you will see is that we do need to write them down. Sometimes they're quite wordy. We have to be very specific around the way that we craft these, but all of them are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed. By the way, I am not suggesting that the goal statement above and these objectives are the best set of objectives. But I'm just giving you an example of statements that technically are a goal statement, and technically these are SMART, S-M-A-R-T, objectives. One way of envisioning goals and objectives for your team is through something that is called the breaking news exercise. To do this, I'd invite you to imagine that you are 12 months from today. It could be a little later, it's probably at least 12 months. Imagine that you and your team are being featured in a new video magazine program which is shown in team meetings throughout the group. They are reporting on the fantastic business success that you have had through implementing enhanced planning within your team. What we suggest you do is construct the headline for this clip, summarising your achievements overall and some specific achievements. And you'll see by doing this, these will automatically translate into a goal statement and some SMART objectives. We hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful in developing your sales management skills. It's one of a series designed to help aspiring, new or developing sales managers. Please subscribe to get access to all of the tutorials in the series and to get news of new ones added. You can also go to www.realsalesmanager.com where you'll find lots of other activities and resources, as well as guides suggesting the best sequence in which to listen to or watch these tutorials.